Hello everyone, welcome back to some Fire Emblem Engage, where we're going to engage in some Vanderism. I'm Mecha. We're going to play a short map today and do a lot of unit analyses, because we got 4 here and then 3 more coming up. Can't do it alone. I need the expertise of someone very engaged in the material. What up, Raisins? How's it going?
Doing great. Doing perfect. I'm ready to... I don't know, I'm trying to come up with something that you haven't already said, like engage with the thing, like hope... I know. Thank you for the bond we share, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, like, come on.
Emblem Engage!
Whoa! Yeah. And then we like spun around and blah, 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 and did a unit analysis, I don't know.
Let's cross our mics together and fuse into one giant helicopter that can engage strike the enemy. I don't know, whatever. The point is, we need to talk about these units before we fall too far behind, and I thought this would be a good opportunity too, because the map is not very long, and I was messing around beforehand trying to figure out like an opening plan, and before I knew it, I was at the boss. I was like, wait, hold up, this is a V-Boss map. I need to stop here before I finish the actual freaking map. So just like with 3 houses, not playing this game for a while, maybe you really like going back into it again. And I hope you all enjoy it too. As a reminder, we do record these a little bit in advance. You'll probably see this by the time we're in like chapter 4, 5, something like that. So if you have any hot ideas for what to do, make sure to drop them ASAP, or else we'll be too far ahead for them to matter a whole lot. That said, before I do my opening plan, I think it'd be good to like go over some units that we have here. So you have Alear, Framme, Clanne, and of course the star of the show, Vander. My take on Alear after playing the game once or twice, then not playing it for ages and now playing it again, is that I feel like Alear's stats by himself or herself, or themselves, I guess, talking about stats, are not that good early on. She feels very middling so far. I feel like the main utility that she has, really by herself, is her personal skill, which is Defining Inspiring, same skills Camilla and Conquest, plus 3 damage for adjacent allies, and then to take minus less damage. That feels really good. And then the synergy with the emblems. Like right now, she is forced to be paired with Marth, so to rate Alear in these maps is the same as rating Alear and Marth together, but soon enough we'll have to take emblems. We can take emblems off and they no longer become her unique property, but I do believe that the dragon subclass that Dragon Child has is always going to give Alear some kind of advantage when engaged with an emblem, whereas other units might not necessarily be like that. Like some emblems will have a bonus for like cavalry or armored or covert, but I think they're not always going to have one. Correct me if I'm wrong though, Raisins, but Dragon is always going to have some kind of advantage when engaged, right? Or when you have a bond ring on you, or an engage ring. What are they called?
Yeah, there's always going to be a bonus. And it's typically a pretty decent one. I can't always say like the Dragon one is the best. But there's always going to be one.
Yeah, my impression is that the Dragon is like often not the best one you can get, but it's never the worst one because there always is something. So I think, for example, if you look at Lodestar Rush, Marth's Engage Attack, I think that's what they're called. The terminology is escaping me a little bit, but I'll get used to it as we play more. Normally that's only 7 consecutive sword strikes at 30% damage, so 210% total. But a Dragon adds 2 more strikes, so 60% extra for 270%. So a little bit extra damage. So that kind of advantage is nice for Alear, and it makes her a good candidate to give a ring to pretty much always, because we're almost always going to have more rings or more units than we have rings. And so there's like a bit of extra mileage you get out of giving her one. But that wouldn't be very good if her stats were not good. And right now, I would say they're okay, especially because they're being boosted a little bit by Marth. Like, it's only 1 strength, 1 speed, 2 dex, but it's something. And then Boucheron, I guess, is another good sword to have. For what I can tell, it is slightly better than an iron sword. And then I haven't really found the extra effect of Boucheron very good. It fills the engage meter by 1 when she attacks and defeats an enemy in a single turn when she's not engaged with Marth. So I feel like that's pretty rare, because especially if you look at like this map, for example, I'm going to spend a couple turns engaged here, then I'm getting this emblem pool, and I'm going to be engaged for another 3 turns. And by the time that is over, then the map is going to be done. But I'm sure in future maps this might be relevant at some point. But right now I don't find this like super impactful. It's just a slightly stronger sword. And a lot of the time I'm just going to be using the rapier anyway, which is just more might. Of course, this will change when we get different emblems. When her stats grow more, maybe when she's reclassed. I do know her growths are fairly good. And I know that for most playthroughs I've seen, Alear does turn into kind of a combat carry. She does get some unique properties late into the game, like very late into the game, that will make her arguably probably the best unit that you have, unless you have like some kind of super build going on. And I think within the challenge that we have set for ourselves, where we have to be switching around emblems a lot, I think that will help Alear in general compared to a normal playthrough, because she will be able to take almost any emblem that's left over. It's kind of like, I don't know, a Persona 5 Joker kind of thing, where you can just fill any hole the team has and do kind of alright with it. I know there's a couple emblems in particular that work really well on Alear, or at least like decently well. Like I think Lucina's okay. I believe that there was another one I really liked. I think Byleth was almost uniquely pretty powerful on her. And Marth is pretty good too, of course, when you have access to him. So she's always going to have good options, but I will reiterate, like, early game, I'm not actually very impressed with her combat performance when not engaged with Marth. I think she really gets most of the value from Marth compared to most other units, but if it wasn't for Marth, she wouldn't be very good. But fortunately, she has Marth. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
But yeah, that's my take on Marth anyway. What's yours?
Yeah, the other thing
Alear.
I do. Yeah, no, Alear. I totally agree. Her stats are like not really like that impressive, like the combat stats, that is to say. But I think most of that actually comes from her beginning as a level 1 unit, rather than her having like just bad stats across the board or anything like that. I do think that if you do give her the EXP and decide like, okay, of the early game units, this one is going to be the training project, I think she does end up like, just totally fine. As good as some other like superstar pre-promotes that you get in the mid game, maybe not necessarily, but still she ends up pretty good. Like that, I think that's more of her issue, is just the EXP curve and just the difficulty of like gaining stats in general in this game, rather than anything like particular to her stats or to her base stats or to her growth or anything like that. I think that if she gets the EXP, which is a lot of it that she needs, but if she gets it, then she ends up actually pretty competent at combat. And what you said about the dragon emblems, or the dragon effects, is pretty good. I kind of gave it away right there, that I don't think super highly necessarily of all of them. And I think that the ones where the dragon gives like the best effects are the supporting ones anyway. So for that reason, my Alear typically ends up in a very supportive role. Just because, again, like I kind of want to just proc the Divinely Inspiring, proc the whole like I support everybody thing, use some support emblem where typically like the good stuff is just going to be like, it doesn't really matter what Alear's stats are. She can still take advantage of this emblem bonus anyway. So that typically ends up being how I use Alear. Now, the fact that we are rotating the emblems as much as we are does mean that we will be able to like take advantage of some of the combat bonuses of this thing, or of the dragon effects. So I think I'm actually really looking forward to seeing how some of those work, and see, does she stay ahead? Does she fall behind? I think that'll be an interesting thing to look at. But with our focus so much on Vander, I think it actually may be the case that she'll fall behind a tiny bit in level. I do know that, like, the past couple maps that we did, even though they were like pretty straightforward, I do think there were like very particular things we could have done to like super duper squeeze EXP out of Alear. We just chose not to do them because we wanted to focus on Vander instead. Which I think is like a fun thing to do given the theme of the playthrough. So I don't super anticipate this Alear being like a super duper duper carry. I mean, we could start now, but I think this one will probably end up being relegated into supportive roles later, which I think is a totally fine thing.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, the level curve in this game, I think, is like really brutal once you get like big level differences between yours and the enemies. So I reckon that if I did neglect Alear a little bit in the early game, I can always make up for it later in some capacity, especially when I get more emblem options to make that happen. So hopefully I didn't scuff Alear too much, but should be okay here. Let's take the star for last. Get into let's do Framme first. I don't know. Come on, give me the thing. There you go.
Yeah, minus. Woo!
Yeah, I was still on one of the things. Framme is very unique design that when I first got into this game, I was like, how the heck do I even use this unit? They're very weird. So first of all, Healer is good. Just healing units after they take damage, so you don't have to use a Vuln, use a turn for something else. Very good. Probably extra value in this game because if someone is engaged, you don't have to spend a turn using a Vuln with them. You don't want them to use an engage attack, or you want them to go somewhere else and do something probably with their empowered stats and abilities. So that alone is good value. And then as a combat unit, she seems pretty bad to me. She does have the the arts, like kind of like the gauntlets of this game compared to Three Houses. Very mild Three Houses comparison in there. Very little damage from what I can tell to most enemies. It does kind of stack with Alear's personal, which adds 3 true damage. Even if Framme were to do 0 damage, I believe that Alear would boost it to 3 times 2. But 3 times 2 is still only 6, and you usually need more damage than that. So generally don't find this super useful, but it's kind of cool that it's there. I think later on some other art options open up. Like I think this one like gives like +5 defense or something. So they're not nothing, but they're not the most significant part about her. Neither is her personal skill. Yay, 10 avoid to both of them on one unit that you don't want to see combat with, and one unit that is... I mean, 10 avoid is not nothing, but it's not that great. The main value from Framme, what I've found, besides the healing, is the option to Chain Guard, which I think we used and then didn't really make use of, or barely make use of. But I can tell the way it works is that if she's adjacent to someone else during enemy phase and she's used Chain Guard, then if an enemy hits the enemy that hits the player unit that has been Chain Guarded, Framme will quote-unquote take the hit, but it only does 10% to her health. And it only works if she's at full health, so she can only Chain Guard once per enemy phase, generally speaking. And then she's going to be damaged, and you need to like chug a Vuln or use some kind of renewal-like skill to get back to full health. But in theory, this could prevent like huge chunks of damage. And it's kind of similar to her healing in a way where it frees up more action economy for another unit. And that can be very helpful. I think it kind of gets surpassed by other options you have to prevent damage later on. I'm mostly thinking of Lucina here. But at least in the early game, I know there's some good options with this. And I also know that Framme can be made into a competent unit like anyone in this game, either by abusing Chain Guard somehow or using the body. I think are they just called arts or body arts? I don't remember, but they're using the arts to like kill things. There's some kind of cute Lucina tech that she can do herself that I believe is really good if you can make it work. So I think there's some options for her. But the issue is that with the early game units, you kind of want to focus on a couple of them, I believe, to get them to the right SP benchmarks and the right XP benchmarks. And if you try to use all of them, it's kind of like a Radiant Dawn in hard mode, where you want to concentrate your XP to a small number of Dawn Brigade units, because if you try to train them all, you end up with none of them being adequately trained to really tackle the later challenges of the game. There's just not enough XP available, either between like building SP with the bond rings or the emblem rings, or just straight up XP available on enemies, or like specific emblems that give more XP than others, like Micaiah and Marth once you get Mercurius. So you kind of have to pick and choose a couple, and preferably as early as possible. And I don't know if I'm in the mood for a Framme training arc this playthrough when we're already kind of having our eye on Alear and Clanne and perhaps some other units. So chances are she'll probably hit the sidelines, but I'll use her for what she's worth in the early game. And it is probably worth noting here, and for Clanne and the others that we're about to review as well, that the early game units do have some options that, for example, mid game units don't in terms of inheritance from the emblems, considering that your access to different emblems is going to switch around chapter 11. So this is especially relevant for like Sigurd and Cantor, and I think that is an advantage that Framme has over a pretty large portion of the cast, having access to skills like Cantor for the mid game where other units do not. So that can be helpful. I don't know if it makes up for the disadvantage of using her, like having to invest resources into her in the early game, but I just wanted to mention it somewhere because it is a significant difference between units like Framme and Clanne and Etie and Boucheron, units that join later like Kagetsu and Ivy and people like that. Eventually, of course, we get access to all emblems, and these differences are kind of null and void. But right now, I think they're pretty significant to mention, and we're probably going to go over them when we're like making decisions in Insomnia and everything. So yeah, that's Framme in a nutshell for me. She seems really good in a supportive role, but at the cost of a lot of investment. What do you think?
Yeah, the supportive role you mentioned, like you brought up the stabs and the healing staff. I do want to say stabs are like really good in this game. And very many of them don't really care that much about your stats. Like there's not anything as like physic range or warp range or rescue range or obstruct range or anything like that. It's just a fixed range, no matter how strong or weak you are.
True.
So the fact that she shows up at level 1 able to use these things is like 90% of the way to being a good unit, basically, right? Like maybe she could have like the extra point of movement from being promoted or something, but these are like pretty minor things all told.
A staff rank is not a big issue for her here, I guess, in that case, because, you know, B stabs at base.
Yeah, that's true. I don't like know the staff ranks of things off the top of my head. I think the one she's missing right now is like in trap, or I think warp is A as well. I don't know, but it's like you could look at a table to figure out like what exactly is the one that she's missing. But I think she's actually got most of them at B. I think you're right. And even like the most uncreative one ever, heal, is still like really good. You know, as you mentioned before, the fact that you can just like use the heal to keep someone going and keep someone using the engaged attacks and whatnot. Because yeah, I would like to, during this brief window of time where my stats are better, I would like to just be doing player phase attacks. Even though the vaults in this game are pretty good, I would still like to, you know, have all the time that I could.
Mm-hmm.
So, as far as the invested strategies with Framme go, you're right. There is a pretty popular one with like the Lucina Bonded Shield. I think that's one that really a very large number of people have access to. Although Framme is like particularly good at it for mostly like support list reasons. I don't really want to get like super deep into like the support list and break down. Okay, here's like all the people that they like give support bonuses to.
Mm-hmm.
It's like no, I just don't really like. I just don't feel like going into that level of detail here. But I will say, yeah, the whole training her and getting SP to get things. Because I think the last thing you mentioned was that being a pre-10 unit, she can get access to skills.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think in this playthrough we're a bit reluctant to spam all the like skill books they get from DLC and whatnot. It will be kind of tricky to get her to anything super meaningful, because in my opinion she's like not very attractive for an emblem for very many maps. I think there are a couple maps where giving her an emblem is like pretty sweet, but it takes a minute before we get one, and you need like 7 levels with the emblem on in order to get to Cantor, like just that. And that's actually like a pretty that's a pretty lofty amount of EXP to earn.
Right.
So I'm not sure whether or not in this playthrough, due to the lack of books, we're going to end up with that. Of course, in a playthrough that has access to books, or well, absolutely she has access to all those things and becomes a lot better much more quickly because of it.
Makes sense. Good point about the low investments, high return with the stabs, actually. That's a different perspective, I guess, than, oh, she's high investment. Like, I guess there's something she could do with high investment, something she could do with low investment. Actually, she sounds like she could do a lot of things with low investment. So, hey, sounds good. So Clanne, little mage guy. I used to think Clanne was like really, really bad because there was like just a lot of other units that joined that are similar to him but seemingly better, less investment heavy. And I still think that to a large extent you can ignore Clanne and get utility that he would provide out of other units like Citrine and some other magic units that join later like Pendreo. But again, there is advantages to using an early game unit, like being able to inherit skills, or I guess in our case, it's probably like skill. Like, we probably just have to work really hard to just get him to inherit Cantor, and that's maybe all we can get out of him. But, you know, the guy's really fast. I made a video once with Septi called, like, Clanne Propaganda about all the things that Clanne can do that a lot of people would just overlook. For one, just magic is really good in this game. There's a lot of good tomes. There's the benchmarks for one rounding in like the mid and late game with magic are generally seemingly way easier to reach than the physical ones, and the perpetual one-shot range just makes that an even sweeter deal. The mystical subclass that mage and sage, I think that's the class that he promotes into, have, is that they can just hit enemies on terrain and just ignore the like avoid bonuses that they get. So that it's like an enemy sneaks into a forest or on a fortress or something else that it's like hard to get rid of. Clanne could just ignore that and hit him with fire anyway. You can become a mage knight, if I recall, which gives him access to more mobility, as well as cavalry subclass instead of mystical if you prefer that. So getting extra bonuses from certain emblems like Sigurd's to get more move. But just the more move in general is of course welcome. And yeah, just magic is good in general, but you do have to train him. He is level 1 right now, even though we were clamoring for a couple maps already, like, hey, this is the Clanne playthrough, this is the Clanne playthrough. And bro badly made it to level 2, so there is work to be done if we're getting him there. He's got the personal skill for Faith, plus 10 hit to both of them, counterpart to Framme's. Not great, but, you know, right now hitting is not that reliable. I don't recall him having 100 hit on enemies, even with this active, so it's a sweet boost, and I'll take it. But these kind of personal skills, we have to be adjacent to certain people or certain types of people, tend to become less relevant as the game goes on. So I don't expect this to be a super important part, especially when we're comparing him to other units that join later that have their own personal skills. But for now, I'll take it. And he seems like a fine investment project and one that will work out, but not necessarily the one that has the best like input to output payoff, if that makes sense. But I do think he can be good just like almost anyone else. That's my take on Clanne. What do you think?
Yeah, I do think there's there's a lot of actually really good things to say about Clanne. And the first one that I just kind of want to get out of the way is that there are a lot of points in the early game where he's just like clearly far and away the best option. Like, you know, kind of going to spoil the back part of the episode. But when we get to the boss, he's like, the boss of this chapter, that is, he's like basically doing twice as much as the next person, maybe even like twice as much as the entire rest of the team combined, frankly, to that boss. And so there are plenty of situations where he's just like very clearly the best option in the early game. And if all you do is exercise him for those options and then just bench him later, that's totally fine. By the way, that's an absolutely fine thing for a unit to do. That's a fine thing for you to do with a unit. Like, I don't think that's a bad mark on anybody. They showed up, they got some important work done, and then that was that. I think that's totally okay. Now, Clanne, as far as like growing and developing into a stronger unit goes, I do think he's actually pretty good. He tends to have like, and I'm kind of using air quotes here, like low magic and high speed. But as you mentioned before with the magic benchmarks later on, really any amount of magic or just like the class base or like the class growth boost amount of magic is typically adequate. Like you mentioned before, the magic benchmarks are typically pretty low. That's because enemies with like high HP tend to have low res, and like enemies with high res tend to have low HP. That's like typically the pattern that occurs in the mid and late game. And so really kind of like any amount should be adequate. And he'll have so much speed that you don't really have to worry about that thing at all. You can just kind of focus on equipping like a heavier weapon or a more powerful weapon, or use an engraving that doesn't garbage his might as much, and he'll actually be totally fine and totally able to do it. That's like kind of the long-term plan for Clanne. Now, again, because he starts at level 1, very similar to what I said about Alear, because he starts at level 1 and only gains the XP through combat, it is actually quite a bit of work to get him there. And you actually really do have to focus. It's not kind of something that happens on accident. I think if you're just using him wherever it's convenient, then the first thing I said before, which is like, you know, hey, he just does a couple things and then gets surpassed by better units, I think that's like far and away the most likely outcome. But for our playthrough, I mean, we've already found a lot of places where he's good, and you know, who knows, if we just keep on choosing to deploy him and keep on choosing to give him, you know, an emblem here or there, then absolutely I can see him continuing to succeed.
Nice. Look forward to it. That's all of them except the star, the man himself, the Vander.
The boy. Yeah. Yes, sir.
I'm glad we gave this game a bit of a go before analyzing him, because I forgot what he feels like to use in combat a lot of the time. And I'm like very, very, very impressed with the amount of damage he deals and his durability. Like, bro just will not die, and he's chunking everything down to like exactly how much XP I want the enemies to be for most of the like combined kills. I was not trying to like feed him or anything. I don't think I've killed many, if any, enemies at all, other than the ones that like suicided into him. So he hasn't really stolen my XP. I haven't really paid the Jagan tax a whole lot yet, and he's just been doing what I wanted to do, which is chip things down. I don't need this guy to grow, because I'm already assuming that his stats are going to be adequate for the early game and bad for the mid and late game, and that's okay. I'm going to deal with that. But as far as like the early game goes, like this is all I want from a unit like this. I do remember the issue with Vander, I guess, and the issue that a lot of people probably run into with him is that it feels like he falls off a bit earlier than a lot of audiences do. I remember going into some later maps, or like some maps, not even like late maps, but chapters like somewhere around like the 6, 7, 8 range, and having Vander be fighting an enemy, I'm like, this is not like that far above what my other units are doing, or this is not as impressive as I was hoping it'd be for what is effectively a 15/1 paladin. Like, I would hope he does better, and some of his stats are already kind of matched by what we have already. He's slower than Clanne, his strength is only like a little bit above some units we have. All that really sticks out above the rest is like 40 HP is a lot, and I guess the defense is also pretty high compared to everyone else's. So it feels like he is definitely going to fall off. In that sense, he gives me a lot of vibes from like Shadow Dragon Jagan, for example, who's like base is slightly higher above your Christmas calves, but so with such a vast difference in other areas that I'm like, oh, this is not going to go well. But his growths are actually like kind of decent. It's just he levels up so slowly in the early game that you barely notice that he has growth at all. But I remember looking him up beforehand, actually, and bro is like 50% speed growth or something. Like, he does not fall off if he leveled up equally, but he doesn't. So he is just going to be slower in that regard. But right now, I'm actually very happy with where he's going, and I do know that there are builds that will let him one round even into the mid and late game, just because you can stat stack so hard in this game. And I look forward to demonstrating that, but I do see the issues that people have. Lastly, personal skill. I kind of already highlighted it in the previous episode. +5 crit for him and Alear when they're adjacent. Kind of don't want that a lot of the time, especially when he's fighting. But even when Alear's fighting, a crit can be bad, depending on what you're trying to do. Like, maybe getting extra combats in to get engage meter back, or just trying to squeeze out more SP or EXP, or just straight up suffering from success. That can be bad. So most of the time I might try to avoid this, but I mean, technically it can be a benefit sometimes, so it's not like I would take it off of him if I could. But I'm not going to pretend it's good. Also, I guess the low XP gain also makes it harder to gain SP if he's an emblem, so I probably wouldn't want to give him an emblem for that purpose. But to do our challenge of like giving him every single emblem before the game is over, probably going to have to at some points. But at least then we can like have a debate about what is the best one to give him at any given time. Especially because we only have so many maps before we lose access to like half of the emblems. We probably want to get a couple of them out of the way, so that we can focus on the good ones later on and not have to rotate the suboptimal one in there in a late game map where it could be much harder for him to get away with the suboptimal emblem. So lots of like little puzzle pieces to figure out with Vander, and I look forward to all of them. What do you think?
Yeah, the Vander that we've been using so far, I think has been pretty good. Like you said before, he kind of like hits people to set them up perfectly for Alear, and that's pretty much exactly what we want to do. And his combat has been like outright better than Alear's so far. I hope so, because Alear is a level 1 lord who doesn't double anything, right? But no, his combat has been totally good. And again, I don't really feel like it's anything bad about Vander that we're kind of like using him to chip and to set up for the person who gains like 12 times the amount of EXP he gets. I think that's like a totally fine thing to do as a Jagan. And later on, he can just kind of like use his stats to, you know, still be actually better than one of our other units. I remember it's kind of funny what you said. It's like, oh, I felt like he would be. I think you said like I felt like he would be better than he is. Like he would be like more better than the other units.
I thought he'd stick out more above the others.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
like,
kind of the expectation he gives, and he kind of like does and doesn't. It's hard to explain, but I feel like it's the vibe that gets across whenever you put him in a combat somewhere.
Yeah, it's like but the thing I find is like, you know, he is better.
He is.
Maybe not by that much, but he is better, is the thing. It's like, okay, well, I wanted him to be even better than better. Like, you know, like, he needs to be, like, head and shoulders ahead of my other units, but, like, it doesn't have to be. Also, your other units is still pretty fine. Like, if you compare how he does the enemies, he's, like, actually just totally good, by the way, with this massive 40 HP. And by the way, 40 HP stays, like, pretty massive for a very long period of time. I think it's, like, actually going to be until a very late chapter where we get a unit with more than that. Just putting that out there, I'm just saying.
True.
And yeah, I know actually for a lot of the early game combat emblems, like putting, say, Marth on Vander is actually just a totally good idea and makes the chapter a lot easier. Like, that's just one of those where you can totally do it. As far as the SP that you mentioned goes, like, and we are probably going to get a lot of SP because there's going to be a lot of emblems on Vander. As far as the SP goes, my typical approach, and this is like with the full intention of like benching him very soon, right? My typical approach is to just inherit like a hit plus skill on him.
Right, I did that too, I think. Sigurd's plus 10, I think?
Yeah, Sigurd gets like the hit plus, and I think he can get like plus 10 with this base SP. Yeah, that's kind of like the super unimaginative, I just want to continue being a Jagan type of thing, right? But hey, it works, and it does boost him. I'm kind of curious what we're going to end up giving him, because, you know, we're probably going to get a little more SP with the emblems or whatnot. But
yeah, a little bit. I don't know how much more though.
Who knows? Yeah. Enough to get cancer? Probably not. Like, I don't think we're getting this guy 5 levels in the early game. I'll just be like realistic there. So I think we're gonna have to start looking around at like other options.
Yeah.
And as far as the class goes, like reclassing him is one thing where like he can go to Griffin pretty easily, and that's like one of the better supporting classes. I'm sure like flying and stabs shouldn't be much of a surprise there. But I do know that like switching him to Griffin or switching him to something more supportive is also a pretty popular one as well. Because his 40 HP is still good, and then he still like supports with people. And he's already promoted. He's like pretty fine in that task as well. But I think in this playthrough, we're probably going to keep him in combat. Whether in Paladin or whether switch to something else, I don't know yet.
Yeah.
But Paladin's alright.
There might have to be multiple reclasses to keep him relevant. Or maybe not to keep him relevant necessarily, but to make best use of the emblems. Because if he's in a support class, I think it's like a combat emblem. Kind of feels bad. Maybe like an arc where he's supportive and give him like 3 different support emblems, and then switch him to a combat class again and give him like the combat emblems, possibly, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll have to figure this out when we have access to the inheritance menu.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I will mention the personal skill as well. I'm gonna kind of like gloss over a lot of the personal skills in Engage because I think most of them are actually just like kind of completely irrelevant. But this one's so funny because like 5 is. I think 5 is an amount of crit that like it's enough to be inconvenient, but it's never enough to like be convenient in the strat that would help you if you want more crit, right?
Yeah,
like,
no Panette plus crit build here.
Yeah, no, like if it was 10, then I'd actually might be like, okay, this is maybe helping you like actually activate and do something. But 5 is like so like come on, like even if I want to crit, this is not very much. So I actually oftentimes find myself disappointed with this, or it gives like Vander a random kill out of nowhere, which hey, maybe that's what we want, right? But
yeah, or maybe it isn't, you know. Like,
yeah, I could totally understand people getting frustrated with like trying to train a unit and then Vander just randomly gets a crit and like steals a kill and creates the Jagan tax 5% of the time more often, right? But you know, I can totally see people getting frustrated with that.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like how someone like Marcus would have like kind of a lot more skill than a lot of units have at base, so he just has a higher inherent crit rate. Maybe they're trying to emulate that with this, like the crit tax kind of gets upped by the skill stat usually because they will have like 5 crit on enemies. All right, well, let's see if he crits here. Let's make some moves, and then we'll probably get like 5 more units or something. That's how this game goes in general. All right, so when I was experimenting, I found a set of moves that I think is what I think a lot of other people do, but it's hard to get your mind away from a set of moves once you've found them and try to work around them. So I'm just going to make them because I think they're good. So I'm going to use Clanne and Vander to deal with the Pegasus Knights on the right, and Alear and Framme to deal with the left enemies. So for Vander, I think the optimal... I want him to get attacked by both Pegasus Knights, or like be in range of both at the very least, to stop them. I do not want them to fly here and not take damage, and then be in my camp without any damage on them. So I'm going to have him go here and attack this, what's this called? A Myrmidon? Mercenary? What do they call in this game? Sword Fighter. Okay. So I'm going to hit that guy. Well, hopefully hit the guy. I only have 83, but that's why I make the first move. Got him. Okay, cool. Turn animations on now. Have them off for testing.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
And then the choice of where to put Clanne. This Sword Fighter will die. Is like, okay, if I put him here, then I'll be in range of a Pegasus Knight, and I'll get some chip XP. And then my Clanne will get damaged, but it'll be okay. Like, it's fine. Because if I don't... I think what happens is, like, this guy will fly here and attack. How's it going? I think this guy will, like, fly to Vander's right and attack him. And then the other guy will just have no attacking square. So I think it's better for Clanne to go here. It's either that, or it lines him up better for follow-up attacks with the next units that are joining. So either way, look at this kill on Clanne here. Put him in range of Pegasus Knight. Even though I don't have to.
Yeah, I don't really know. Cause, like, that Pegasus Knight has like a 50-50, right? They have a square they can go to the blocks and a square that doesn't. Let's go, Clanne. This is fixed mode, so the first level is always going to look kind of weird, by the way.
Yeah, it's like, I think if you have a 50 or higher growth in this stat, it'll just get it, and otherwise you're just not going to get it until next level.
I think it's like a little bit more complicated than that. Like because the fix actually takes like your personal and your. I was about to explain it, but I realized it was like kind of. There's like a bit more to it than that, but typically everyone's first level is going to be like total crap, and then after that they're going to get like a good one, they're going to get a super good one, and then it's going to be like, pretty even from then on out.
All right,
that's like typically the pattern.
I see.
But what was going on here? Yeah,
so
because the person has like the 50-50, and I don't really know how the AI resolves that, or if it actually is just a 50-50 to them, or if one is more attractive than the other. I don't really know. Okay. Engage AI is still like kind of mysterious to me. But what was the Framme idea?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, like, this is the 50-50 seems more likely than them just being set to attack from somewhere. I don't know, but that's what I experienced like the 1 or 2 times I tried. So I was trying to map out when I would want to engage with Marth and use Lodestar Rush, and I kind of decided that the best target for it is probably just an early enemy to start gaining ground on enemies, because the worse your turn 1 is, the harder your future turns become. And so even though it feels kind of silly to use a big attack like that on a guy that's not even in your camp, it makes sense if you look at it from like, okay, I'm going to be engaged for like only 3 turns until I need to get this emblem pull. So I'm going to engage as soon as possible anyway. So do I want to Lodestar Rush on turn 1, 2, or 3? And the answer that just kind of came to was like turn 1 makes the most sense due to the way the positionings work out and how much more help we're going to have on turn 2 and how much more room we're going to get. So the set of moves that I think would work very well here is Chain Guard with Framme, and then Alear, Lodestar Rush here. And the enemies in this game, as we discovered previously, really like breaking your units. So this Lance Soldier, even though he has a perfectly viable healer in range in Framme, he's just gonna go for our Alear because she can break her. But because Chain Guard is up, she will not get broken, and instead he'll get countered with the Rapier and not die but get wounded very severely. And then we're gonna be totally fine. And we'll kill this guy because he's in our camp, he's in the way, he's annoying to kill fast. And next turn we're gonna have more help to deal with the Pegasus Knights coming from the left. So let's boost the rush.
Yeah, this makes total sense, yeah. Yeah, the Sword Fighter doesn't have the break thing too. Yeah, this actually makes so much sense.
Goodbye.
Whoa!
And even though like a very well-known pitfalls like hoarding and stuff, I still find myself wanting to like hold on to engage attacks all the time. So this playthrough is also an exercise in me for like to stop hoarding so much.
Yeah. I will say this is the game that like cured a lot of my friends like the hoarding. Like I saw a lot of people who like these kind of people have 99 of every potion by the time they get to the end of the game, right?
Yeah.
And, like I saw them like actually just busting out all the engages immediately on turn. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
All right, good level up. Finally, her second level up.
There we go.
Okay, I'm gonna get damaged by him.
It's
That's
like everything
all right.
she didn't get in the first level, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess the 1% crit. That's really, you know, whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We don't have Divine Pulse yet, though, or like Draconic Time Crystal.
Yeah.
We're just gonna have to play farm them here.
Yeah. That break manipulation of the soldier is actually like really good too.
Let's go. Someone is coming. 3 someones, in fact.
Whoa.
He's here. Alfredo.
Made it. And not a moment too soon. The Crown Prince Alfred of Framme is here to help. Let me at it.
Prince Alfred of...
The final dragon. Oh my god.
There's
OMG.
OMG.
Well, lead the way.
Thank you for your...
Yay. Alright. Yeah, this might be a better reason why I wanted these Pegasus Knights to be closer to the middle than at the side here, so that Etie could help attacking. Let's look at these, I guess. So, Alfred, another guy that I made a propaganda video about, because I think almost everyone comes away from their first playthrough feeling that Alfred is extremely mediocre to bad. And I had a conversation with Septi, where Septi was like, no, Alfred is actually pretty good, but... And Zoran also made some videos about Alfred and how to use him in the early game that I really enjoyed. And I had a go at using him myself, and I was like both impressed and not impressed with him. The main thing that I think makes a lot of people feel bad about Alfred is that his speed is looking low. Like, he gets weighed down by the Iron Lance, which is a lot of people are just like kind of sticking on to as a bad thing. I'm trying to find like the weight stats here. I think this has a weird way of showing it. How do you switch this again? To
You would have to check in the item menu.
Oh, right.
To see the weight, but also you can like mouse over his speed stat, and like if you examine his speed stat, it'll show you by exactly how much he's getting weighed down and what his like actual speed stat is.
Oh yeah, that works. Yeah. So getting weighed down by a basic weapon is like an automatic trigger, I think, to a lot of people to go like, oh, that's bad. If you get weighed down by an Iron Lance, you must be bad, or that must be terrible, and they don't like that. I can see it. Like, getting doubled is never a good feeling when the enemy gets like twice as many attacks as they usually would, but Alfred does have 8 defense, which makes him take less damage from getting doubled than some people take from not getting doubled. So the net difference in bulk still ends up having Alfred come out on top a lot of the time. And then you still have a cavalry unit, you know, that can move further than most units, can use the secret emblem better than a lot of the other units, and can potentially give you a lot of mileage if used correctly. But I get the disadvantage, I get why people didn't like him, and when I used him, I was like, yeah, this is alright, but I think I could get more out of other units not training him. Like, I remember one of the pitches that Septi gave for Alfred was like as a mid-game Lucina user for other cavalry, but also saying like you could also use another unit for this, just reclass it to cavalry, have them do it instead. And then you're kind of asking yourself, with a lot of units, like, why am I investing into this guy when I could use someone else? But at the same time, he seems like an okay investment project, and I don't hate having a Lance Cav around the team. But it's been a long time since I used him. I don't remember a whole lot else about him besides the fact that he's like decently okay bulk, low speed, and like decent accuracy, I guess. And then self-improver is like, I kind of don't want to spend a turn using weight a lot of times in this game, but there's probably some times where you can't attack, and then getting 2 strength for doing nothing is better than absolutely nothing. But oftentimes I'm still using a vulnerary if I'm not attacking, so I don't find this skill super useful. But yeah, I don't remember a whole lot about Alfred besides those things, so I'm curious if there's anything you have to say about him that I missed, because all I basically just said was the bare bone basics about him.
Yeah, I was like all I remember is I was a pretty big like Alfred hater basically until I like did play Maddening, right? And then I was like, oh, it's actually really useful to have a guy with 5 move and like just good hard stats across the board, right? Like okay, maybe not the speed, but like, you know, the 9 strength and 8 defense. That's just like better than what everyone on our team has right now. And also the 27 HP is nothing to like sneeze at either, right? Like, all that's just pretty good. And the fact that it's on here on a 5 move unit, which is better than, you know, everyone else on our team except Vander, that's like totally fine. And actually, I totally enjoyed deploying him for a bunch. Did end up benching him later. I do think his future is actually like pretty grim as a, you know, unit, like not just in the lore, but also in the unit as a unit. Like, I don't really think he has a lot of places to go that other units can't like fill in reasonably as well. But hey, like I said about the clan in the early game, if you're like deploying him and he's putting in work, and then some chapters later you like bench him, that's like totally fine. You know, like you won the chapters and therefore you won the game. So I think that's like a totally reasonable way to use him. I do want to comment on the whole like, you know, getting weighed down thing, like feeling bad. I understand that's a total feels bad, but like when I look at the factual classes, I think, by the way, literally every single unit on this map except Framme is weighed down by their weapon. Like even the enemies. So like getting weighed down doesn't matter. It's whether or not you have enough speed to double or not get doubled by things. That's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
You know, and when a lot of the enemies are weighed down too, by the way, and like I think actually all of our units are weighed down 1 by the thing, and then all the enemies are weighed down as well. So
that's true. Maybe not.
The rapier I think maybe doesn't, but the Liberacion definitely did.
Oh yeah, okay.
So
what about him then? Wait.
Okay, maybe not him. Okay, you found the 2 counter examples, my point, but everyone else is, okay? Like exactly rapier Alear and exactly Clanne.
Oh, true.
But yeah, everyone else is way down.
All right, fair enough. Yeah.
It
It is only 1 point. The main problem is just that he's also just has 6 base speed, which is not the highest, but it's also not like, it's not Armor Knight level low. It's just, I think it gets double in Murmur Knights. That's kind of it, right? Maybe Pegasus Knights?
These Pegasi actually don't double them.
Yeah.
I think the Sword Fighters in this chapter actually don't either. I think the Sword Fighters have 10.
Oh, I just killed
Wait,
one,
but 10 does double 5. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, 10 does double 5.
Okay. I can't do math. But the thing is also he has enough defense that, and this isn't copium, this is just true. He has enough defense that like it typically ends up being less damage than what other people are taking in 1 hit anyway. So
yeah, we just saw Clanne get like
actually.
2-shot by a Pegasus Knight. I'm pretty sure that Pegasus Knight would not 2-shot Alfred even while doubling. Like it wouldn't 4-shot.
Yeah, no, I think it takes like several hits to take out Alfred. So yeah, the fact that this guy just like walks around with 5 move, way more than the rest of your team, and then 8 defense, a lot more than like many of your other units. Like Vander's better than them, of course. And you know, for the purposes of like breaking or break manipulation, like he has the lance as well. That's a new weapon type that your team doesn't have access to. I think all that's pretty good. So like, I think for the moment, like right now, if we just freeze frame this team, absolutely he's one of the better ones, right?
Yeah.
Development wise, I don't think he's going to grow into anything particularly special. So I don't mind just using him to hit stuff until it's not convenient anymore. Like, I'm not really super keen to feed him a crap ton of EXP. I'm just going to use him where he's obviously good, and that's going to be a lot of points over the course of the next few chapters.
Yep, me too. I think that is exactly how I'm going to use Alfred. Boucheron. I think I've seen him hilled as like the worst unit or one of the like worst 3 units in the game, unfortunately. But I think in the early game, perfectly fine deploy to use for stuff. Kind of a weird way to introduce the whole backup and chain attack mechanic, because his personal confused me a great deal the first time around. When an ally joins with a chain attack and his unit's combat unit deals +2 damage, my first thought was like, oh, he's gonna deal +2 damage when chain attacking, but no, it's when other units join as backup units doing chain attacks that Boucheron deals +2 damage, but there are no other backup units on the team right now, so this is just null and void right now. Beyond that though, Axe Fighter uses axes. That's a weapon type we do already have, but having an extra option to break lance users, not a bad thing to have. Speed is too low to double. He's only slightly faster than Alfred at 6. Probably going to get doubled by roughly the same things. Big-ish strength stat, only 1 below Vander, and then uses axes, so a lot more chip damage there. And then if he's adjacent to an enemy and someone else attacks, he does do a chain attack, which has an 80% chance to deal 20% of their health, if I remember correctly, which is okay. Sometimes I see people say like that's like the only thing he does, and it can be. It's never something you want to rely upon because 80% is still like 80% real, so it can definitely miss. But sometimes it is the damage you need, and if he wasn't there, he wouldn't have that 2 damage at all, so it's still helpful to have around. And then sometimes you have to gang up on an enemy, you have him Boucheron like hit him first, especially if it's a lance user, you hit him, you break them, and someone else can follow up and he might be able to deal the finishing blow with the chain attack. That can be helpful. Long term, probably similar problems to Alfred, where just having okay to good bulk and strength is nice, but the speed kind of lags behind. There's one farm YouTuber, Pavis, that I know used Boucheron almost all the way through. He threw the Ike emblem on him, and I think Ike was doing most of the work there, but it was pretty funny to see him use the Bouche that way and just watch him absolutely kick ass. But that is my only experience watching Boucheron any longer than the early game, and I think he's often one of the first people will bench if they're not particularly enjoying his character very much. So he seems like another one of those units that you could use if you wanted to, but other than that, he's going to be an early game unit that you deploy for lack of better options. And then the things he does can be helpful at times, but it's not like Vander level carry. He's just fine. He's alright. But later on, when you get like 20 options and 10 deployment slots, probably one of the first to go. That's my impression of Boucheron. And like you said before, that is fine. It's okay if a unit helps out early on and then gets benched. That still needs to help for like 5, 6, 7 chapters. But it's not hard carry material, if you get what I mean. Is that your experience as well?
Yeah. I guess like that's a less severe way to say what I think about him. I don't like this guy at all. I'll be real. Like, I think someone in my chat said like, this guy is your Ford or whatever. It's like, yeah, it's pretty true. Like, my number one enemy, this guy. No, I'm kidding. I don't like him that much. I think the chain attacks mechanic, aside from like really a couple very small places in the other game, I think the chain attacks are like mostly pretty bad. And especially coming from Boucheron, I think like actually setting it up is just more likely to get Boucheron killed than it is to like assist in getting the enemy killed. That or like the enemy is just going to go down anyway, so I don't really care that I had an 80 or 90.14% chance to do. And I think, by the way, it's 10% rounded down of their max HP. That's what it is.
Oh, 10%. Okay, that's a lot less, actually.
Yeah. Rounded down, too, so... yeah.
So, like, 90 HP, he just does, like, 1 damage. Okay.
Yeah. I think that's only Framme, though, so, you know, like, all the enemies have at least 20, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, true.
But... yeah, I'm not a huge fan. His strength itself is pretty low. It's mostly being boosted by the Axe Fighter. And... with that, it's actually like altogether his strength is pretty low, and there's no real way to improve it. And for a physical unit, this is going to be a theme when we get to Etie as well. For a physical unit, really the most important thing is strength, like far and away. The speed, the HP, the bulk, all those other things, like you can be mid and you can still be fine. The strength, though, you like really need a lot, because in order to punch through a lot of the late game benchmarks, because the effective weaponry in this game is like kind of mid, you just need a lot of attack power. And this guy, even though at this point in time, again, if we kind of snapshot, he has the second most strength on the team, that is definitely not true as the game goes on. He just simply doesn't have that much compared to other people.
You want to take a look at that real quick? That's actually interesting.
Oh, sure. Why not?
So I put Boucheron on here as an axe fighter, so right now he has 10 strength. And but if you were to change him to like, what is another class that he could be realistically that shows off his bad strength?
Like warrior, like 10-1 warrior or something?
Oh, yeah, I can't really do growth yet, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
What about like Griffin Knight, I guess?
We don't have this here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Personal base strength of 1. Okay, that explains a lot, actually.
Yeah,
like,
and I try to remember the personal growth. I think the personal growth is like 20, which, again, for like the short period of time where we have no reclassing, and you know, I guess maybe it depends on your attitude towards the reclassing. For the short period of time where we like have no reclassing at all, he's going to look like he has mid or good strength, but And then the moment anybody is able to enter like better stuff, it's just going to be completely garbage. I'll be real. Like I could look up the 10-1 Boucheron average, but I remember it was like pretty depressing. Like, wow, it's going to be here and it's not going to get that much higher. Right?
I know
like,
Alear's like
X-Fighter.
Yeah, Alear's like very shitty base stats because most of his or her bases come from their class base. So if they reclass, they generally kind of bad off. And Alear's is one less than Boucheron right now. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, no. I think actually Alear's like literal strength right now is like pretty close to it. Like even in Divine Dragon, right? Like, or Dragon Child or whatever it is.
Yep.
Okay, maybe not like that close, but hey, like here we are.
With Marth it is, but then Marth is going to get offer, and I guess it's still kind of low. Yeah, true.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of that's the idea. Like her personal strength is exactly the same as Boucheron's right now.
Sad.
And so, yeah. It's... I'm not a huge fan of him. I think
Makes sense.
other things, yeah. There is something to be said about his quote-unquote high build, which is like... Yeah, it is a feels good because you lose the whole speed penalty pretty early on, but like, I mean, what if you just ate the speed penalty and just had more speed? That's what a lot of units are capable of, by the way. Like, it's just totally fine, and then they also have the strength to back it up, but Boucheron, I feel like not really that much. He's just kind of like...
Does build change when you reclass?
Sorry?
Does build change when you reclass?
Yeah. Classes have different personal... sorry, not personal. Class build as well.
Okay.
And... His personal build growth is like the highest in the cast or something. It's like 20%, whereas everyone else is usually like 5 or 0. But, you know, okay. Like, it's not really that good all told. Other people have good speed, too. I don't know.
Yeah, the classic case of speed is better than con/build.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, shall we move on to Etie?
Yeah, I think so. Get this guy off my screen. No, I'm kidding.
Get out of here. The start of last playthrough that we did of Engage, really enjoyed using her in that one. Started as Archer, reclassed to Warrior later, and just kind of wrecked everything with a Lin Emblem, honestly. Now, those are ingredients to make almost any unit good, I think, or any physical unit. But it does help that her strength is just absolutely massive from what I remember. I don't know if we just got lucky on the first playthrough because that one's not on fixed mode, or if it just has good strength. I'm sure Raisins is about to tell me. But I really enjoyed using her. Using archers in this game in general feels a bit better in the early game than in a lot of other games because they actually throw flying enemies at you that you can have, I believe, triple effectiveness against. Correct me if I'm wrong. And she just one-shots Pegasus Knights, even in Maddening, as far as I remember. That's really helpful. And when everyone only has like 4 move, the extra range that mages and archers have in the early game comes in handy a lot. And the enemies feel quite threatening, even on hard mode, but especially on Maddening. So being able to circumvent counters is pretty huge. I just find the bows in this game just more fun to use than a lot of other games. Even though at some point you can get to a level where you can just enemy phase everything with some kind of combination of like strong setups with like Bonded Shield or some other kind of 100% crit or 100% avoid build. But I don't know, I found Etie's like player phase actions to be quite impactful. And even when I had access to using like a hand axe or a silver axe or whatever, I was still just using bows a lot. That was hard mode, where we're just kind of messing around. We didn't have any like self-imposed restrictions. Maddening might be a different case. Either way, I did promise I would explore new things in this playthrough, so I can't really use Etie as much as I used her last playthrough. But I'm still open to like using her in the early game to get enemies out of my way, because I know that there's a lot of annoying flyers in this game that I have to get rid of, and she's by far the best option for it. And if nothing else, having a unit that can set up kills for others without taking a counterattack is just helpful. Energized... Yeah, it's +2 strength when she's using a Vulnerate, but kind of don't want this unit to get attacked a whole lot, so that's not happening a lot. I remember setting up funny strats with this, in conjunction with a Dancer in the other playthrough. Probably not going to happen a whole lot here, but I do have a soft spot for Etie. I really enjoy using her, and I almost wish I wanted to use her again, but I'm going to do new things this time. Etie, what do you think?
Yeah, I like her a lot, to be honest. Like... I don't think she's the best unit ever, but I think of the Fiorine workout crew that we just got here, like, I think she has the best future by far. And a lot of that is due to the strength and the strength growth, right? Like, as I mentioned earlier, the strength really is pretty far and away the most important stat you can have on a physical unit. And she's actually got a ton of it. By the way, she has as much strength as Boucheron right now, and I think 1 behind Vander. And currently with her personal in her class of 55% strength growth, which is like actually just a ton. You know, like she's just got a whole bunch. And right now she's an archer, which doesn't have the best strength ever. the moment she hits level 10 is able to go into something else. I think you put her in Warrior in the first playthrough.
Yeah.
Which is like just a very good thing to put her in. Either Warrior or Wyvern really are both very good choices for her. Then she actually just has really monstrous amounts of strength growth. I think one of the highest in the game. Now, her other stuff is like pretty low, all told. Like a lot of her bulk stats, this is something that people discover pretty quickly, is her bulk is like absolute garbage. You know, this 5 speed is going to get doubled by stuff pretty quick, and her HP and defense are both very low as well. So all of that kind of has to be overcome, but she does have the most important thing required for being like a physical combat unit, which is good strength. And so the fact that the most important thing is there, you just have to find a way to cope or to fix the other stats. I think that actually lends her to having a very good future. And for the meantime, right now, she's totally good at plinking at archers, or not plinking at archers, plinking at flyers right now. And I think that's totally fine. I agree with you, the sentiment that because we had her like carry and just demolish everything on our first playthrough, we want to try new things. I totally get it. So that unfortunately means our girl Etie is probably going to get sidelined after a bit, but I still think she's pretty good, all things considered.
I agree. I do remember her speed did need quite a bit of fixing, but hey, that's why Lyn was so good on her.
Yeah, no, just Lyn and Speed Taker, that you have like infinity speed, right? Surely that should be enough. Like,
surely infinity's enough. All right, to infinity and beyond. Let's try and find a kill for Clanne. I had an idea for one here. It was like,
sorry, Divine One. I didn't have a chance to introduce myself. My name's Boucheron.
Boucheron.
No.
All right, smack him. So this should give me enough juice to kill with Clanne. Nice break.
That's true. Because they're broken when you can even do a melee. Oh!
Let's go. Chain attack.
Yeah, there we go. We gotta hit the chain attack. Nice.
Easy peasy.
Sort of like that.
So
maybe?
chain attack works as long as Boucheron is adjacent to the enemy, or can he also be using it like a hand axe and be like here?
He could be using a hand axe. As long as he like threatens the square with his current like weapon, right? Like that's
okay. Alright. And then Etie can do a bow snipe here, or we can move her up here to fight the Pegasus Knights. I forgot what my plan was. Let's see, Alfred cannot reach that. So it's either gonna be Vander. Okay, yeah, no, I think it's gonna be Etie in this one. I have a plan. Hold up. I got
Yeah.
the sauce. Kill this one. Ah!
And this is actually totally in range for if someone attacks Alear next turn, she's in range to do something about it. So
yeah, like 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks like anything here. Yeah. Here, so you have Alfred who cannot attack anything. My strat was to do a little horizontal wall here with Alear, Framme, Alfred, and Vander. Because if I just expose Alear to all these Pegasus, she's gonna get broken and not do anything productive here.
yeah.
Which is kind of silly.
Wait, did Framme not chain guard?
Oh,
like,
I
did
think
the guy just miss? Or
I think
what?
he missed. Yeah. So it looks like we have another option for another chain guard if you want to. I don't know if we can really take advantage because we're kind of forced to kill this one guy here. Or Pegasus Knight, but we don't want one of those. So I think it makes more sense to like finish something off with Alear here. And then I guess we could chain guard again and bait like one more enemy to attacking Alear. And then surround Framme so she cannot get attacked twice. Like this, maybe? And then Alfred below.
I wonder if, like, okay, if we do a chain guard, I actually just wonder if a similar thing as last turn will happen, where they just, everybody attacks Alear because they think they can break. I guess the first one thinks they can break, the second one's right, you know, but...
Yeah, I think what will happen is if this guy stays out of range like that, then the first one will attack Alear and take a lot of damage because Alear will not get broken. The second one will break Alear, but then the break doesn't matter that much anymore, since at that point, yeah, it's a full health Pegasus, but Etie is right here. So, yeah, I guess just like stay put and do the same thing.
Yeah, I guess we do need to wall off because they could figure out that, wait a minute, we can't just team up and kill Framme. So your idea to like move Alfred to the south, I think that's a good one.
Yeah, so like here and then Vander somewhere to the right, either to the right of Alear or to the right of Framme. To make sure that
something walling off Framme, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Self-improver.
Whoa!
Don't need the Vaughn here, I'll just leave it to you. We do need to chain guard. And it's not like Framme's gonna suffer from success. She's not good enough for that.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Even with the Divinely Inspiring, I don't think that's happening at all.
Okay. More earlier XP. And this one should get chain guarded or dodged. Nice, okay.
Wow. Okay, we're just super lucky. I mean, this is also like 53 incoming hit from the enemy, like, you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I
javelin.
think misses are gonna happen every now and again.
I've got you.
Thanks, Framme. Woo! Yeah, it's Framme XP, I guess. Probably support points too. I didn't see. Okay.
I think so, yeah.
I don't think I get a kill here. Pretty close though.
Point the way again.
You can't. Heck.
Yeah.
What do you
Whoops.
mean? You get
Oh no, what a
lost.
tragedy. Yeah.
Alright, yeah, it looks like I can't get a clan kill here. Unless it's on the other guy after like a Vander hit. Maybe that's an option? It's 19.
After like a Vander hit and you get a Divinely Inspiring maybe? Like,
Yeah.
that could be it.
Yeah, it looks like that is it. Because 15 plus 4, 7. Is that's still not enough, is it? If Vander does 15.
15 plus 7? That's correct. Yeah, that's not enough.
It's one short SMH.
Oof.
Well, that sucks. I mean, there's always the Alear kill, I guess. And then this one will try to break Alear and get wrecked. Is it really just Etie kill? I've never sounded so disappointed in Etie kill, but here we are.
Yeah, well, we've like said from the start that we don't really care about EXP owner, right? So I get the sentiment.
SMH. I guess I've only had like this is where I would really like a shove or a reposition to just have Boucheron be here, like one tile closer. But he's as close as he could have possibly been. I guess I'll take the chip damage then, and then finish with like Framme or someone. Because Etie can only attack that one. Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, Etie, only legal target moment, like, you know.
It happens. There's nothing else that.
This is where he crits anyway, right? So.
Oh, true. Totally. It's gonna get in there.
Yeah.
I serve the divine dragon.
Oh.
See what I tell you?
Whoa.
Did you see that?
He did crit.
I foresaw the RNG. The RNG is not like FE8 or anything where you do just know the first few moves, but you know.
Okay, I guess this has to be a Vander into Alear moment, or it gets to be.
Ooh.
Break.
That's right. Dude, flyers are broken in this game, dude. Holy smokes.
Alright, now we just have to make sure that after Alear finishes this one off, we don't get one unit one rounded by a Pegasus Knight, but how hard can that be?
Yeah, I think Framme in the box should
Oh, you're
deal
at
with
max
that,
bond.
right? So,
Bond
Oh, yeah,
4.999 or whatever it's called.
yeah, I don't know. 4.9, whatever. We get it.
Okay, do you probably kill Clanne from here if we don't heal him? So let's heal him. 14. Yeah, he does die. So Framme in the box. That includes Clanne. And this should wall him off. Plural.
So yeah, nice.
Get in
And
here.
other units come forward. There could have been like the easiest ETA kill ever, right? But we said at the start, it's like
Yeah.
a...
I'm gonna go for Alear anyway. Oh, so lucky. I make all these plans and then this works out.
Yeah, everything just dodges everywhere, right?
Disengages. This shouldn't be a kill because we're still short, so I guess we have to rely on a dual strike here. Or a chain guard because no one else can set this up for Clanne. Got that leaf problem
Ooh.
going on.
There we go.
Everyone is too good to help Clanne get a kill. He did it. See, I told you Boucheron's chain attacks were helpful.
That's true.
Alright, we'll
Give
get,
EXP to Clanne.
okay, we'll get the emblem full for Alear go back to full. And then this is the latter part of the map, and I think these like basically just all aggro at once, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, there's a pretty big like linked AI thing, and I think it's like properly a linked AI as well. There's no what's it called? Like, there's no trick. These guys, once you get in range of one, you're in range of all, I think.
Mm-hmm. So I was thinking something like Vander around here somewhere where he fights both Pegasus Knights. Now this is you can go here to be in range of both, but I think that is in range of him. No, it's not. There was like a problem with putting him here, but I don't remember what that problem was. Where he would...
Is this pillar to the right of him actually traversable, or?
Rebel flyers only? Yeah. Floor.
Okay.
So they should be able to go there. Like, it looks like they can go over it at the very least. Maybe they can't land on it, but...
They could totally land on it. There's not a... This isn't Radiant Dawn.
Yeah. The alternative is like here and then Alfred here to take on a Myrmidon in any phase and get some chip on him. Because if we put him... If we just put him here, if we put Vander here, they would get broken by the Myrmidon, I think, before the Pegasus Knights move. I'm not sure if they move before or after, but I think that's how it goes.
Yeah, they do. I think they do change move in order to break intelligently. So that is one thing that they do.
How annoying. Let me heal you to full so you can chain guard if we need to. I guess that would also prevent the break if we did that.
Oh, true. It probably puts Framme in range of stuff though. So
yeah, probably depending on how I do it. I'll take an extra turn to get like Alear next to Vander or something. We can provide some help there. So maybe like here, then Alfred, not in range of this FE12 unit here.
oh yeah.
So a bit better, excuse me. Put you like here. Wait, oh, they can reach him there? Oh, right. That's annoying. That's annoying.
They can, but it should be fine, right? So
I guess he's Alfred. He should be fine, right? Like, what are they gonna do to him? Like,
yeah, 4x2. That's like,
oh no.
will be fine.
Anyway, all right, so we go here.
He's gonna do like +5 with that. We can get a Alear on the left too.
Is that true? It doesn't seem. I mean, I guess she does damage, so why not, right? Just engage and like sit here, take the attack, fight. Yeah,
I think so. The choice is like, do you engage with Rapier or not? That's like really the.
I mean, Rapier's no downsides, right? It's just better.
That's true.
And it's not gonna last like a whole lot more turns, so just engage. Use the Roadstar Rush next turn. Rapier, sit.
Yeah, I totally like it. That should be good.
Get the boost ready. God, I can't wait for him to get a hand axe so I can actually get +2 damage more often.
Yeah, no, it's actually like a big step up.
I mean, it's not in range, so I kind of want to keep the backline free in case I need to heal or something. But it would be cool to get support points, is all I'm thinking. Like Clanne. Oh, they might be at max already. I have no idea. Let's put you here. This should be fine.
Yeah, I also don't know if enemy phase actions give support points. I just don't know.
Oh, true.
We'll
I think they might not. That was like a big complaint about Engage, actually. So you're probably right. Okay. Moves in a funny spot.
Yeah, if it's true at all. Well, I'll look if the hearts show up or not. Let's see.
Looks like they do not show up.
Okay.
Okay, he does a lot of damage, Alfred, actually. I remember why some people liked him. It's pretty good. He did with nothing from that.
Yeah, no, this is like his
nice unit.
First combat I think that he's done, and it's like pretty good, so.
Alright, by Vander, we're using Alfred now. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. Okay. Okay. 4 enemies, 4 good combats in return. The rest will move.
We'll take it. We fought in 100 individual combats.
Nice. I do like those little
the other
achievements.
fire you played though, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so what I want to accomplish this turn ideally, I think, is get Vander here. Get him, like, stop him from flooding the enemies. Stop these enemies from flooding through this little choke point here, because they can't exactly move around. And in order to accomplish that, we have to like kill everything else with units that are not Vander. I guess we could get a Pegasus kill with Vander if we really wanted to, but preferably not. Probably get kills with Alear, Alfred. I guess it's not terrible to get the Pegasus with Vander. There's actually no downside to it if we don't care about the XP on these units. So it's probably kill here. What can go wrong if we do this? Because it's probably kill here. We could miss, I guess.
Yeah, that one's like a little bit sus, I guess.
Well, we have Clanne as like a backup, right? We could do Clanne first on that guy then. Because Clanne probably is not killing a Pegasus Knight once again. Yeah. Gotta kill a Myrmidon with him.
Yeah,
anyway.
even with the Divinely Inspiring. That's true, actually. If Clanne is killing this and not killing anyone else, then this is probably the move.
And Alear is definitely killing something this turn just to benefit, get SP out of it. Which kind of just leaves... yeah, I think this leaves everyone else free enough to just do whatever they want. Yay!
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind like Vander just hitting the Pegasus to the right from that square you indicated.
Same. And I want him to enemy phase this boss so we can then finish it off with Clanne after. Because like you said, like Clanne does a lot of damage to this boss. And Vander does okay, but not fantastic.
Oh, Vander doubles actually. That's pretty good.
Yeah. It's I always get surprised when people double. Because initially when you like line up the combat normally you see damage 12, but when it's often like 6 times 2. But the way this game displays the forecast is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see if we hit here. He should have enough bulk to survive no matter what happens anyway. Even if he misses here. That's nice.
I am as strong as ever.
Yay! 2 experience. Which leaves this kill. I guess we'll check if Alear hits this, but like, she's like 100 hit, right? It should be fine.
Surely, yeah. Right?
Surely. I wouldn't hate it if this archer came to a spot where you could Lodestar Rush it next turn, because we haven't done that yet. So maybe it's actually go like here.
Oh, I like that, yeah.
And then maybe get like Framme in range of the archer and only the archer, something like that. So rapier here.
Not
Got
a
that.
Yeah, I do know the archer has some like crit on Framme though, so.
Ooh. I would not like to get crit here. How much crit do you have? Does it say so here?
You have to do the zoom in, or typically what I do is I think in the options menu there's, where is it called?
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. It's like the, is it this
Yeah,
one?
additional info. I typically set this to crit dodge because those are the only two stats that aren't like shown
And then
in
it's
the like
here,
when you
right?
mouse over a unit. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, only 5 actually. Okay, well,
5
that's
crit.
better than I thought.
And oh yeah, okay, all right. So then Clanne, yeah, okay, that works out. She has 7 speed, and he has 5, so he's not getting doubled. Okay, cool. All right, let's bow him down here.
Boom,
Have to up
easy.
my weights.
Yay! That's
Should have been Alfred kill. No. Whatever.
You can go here and just heal, I guess. Sure, that Archer will go for her.
Surely.
Heal.
He doesn't double, doesn't crit. We should be fine, right?
Yeah, surely. It's always so anxious when you get the last bit of the map.
Yeah. No.
Chain attack option, I guess. I don't know. How much do you have? What's the thing? Oh, there you go. Okay, he also has 5 dodge, so he should also be fine. Okay. What else can you do? All fine. It's all fine.
I don't think a beam is gonna vacate the square. Like,
Yeah, same. Okay.
I don't think they have that technology.
Yeah. It'd be very funny if they did. Okay.
I have my orders. No one reaches the vault.
Fine. 6.
That's right.
Okay.
We gotta engage his Wrath Strike. OMG.
Oh no. Not the worst shit ever. Okay, let's see how much you do, because I don't think you need Finally Inspiring, but just in case. Okay, you definitely don't need that. You're so good here. Alright. Oh, you just 1 round. You just do it. But there's no reason. Is there a way to get to Lodestar Rush from this menu with just like a simple click? Is it like this? Alright.
I don't think so.
This is just
Not,
the attack
not from this
menu.
particular menu.
Yeah, okay. Lodestar Rush.
My prayers are with you.
Alright, I think that's enough damage.
Yeah, no, should be okay.
Live to fight again.
But like, got him 1.5 times over. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Get in there and get your kill.
Boom.
Sir.
You're not just any soldiers.
We did
Yeah,
it.
it's just any boss.
Level 3.
2 clan levels. There we go.
Yay.
Oh my gosh, it's like 3 until he gets magic. Man, oh man.
Oh man. I remember the reason people hate Clanne, I think, is because he has more strength growth than magic growth or something, like more personal strength than magic growth.
That is true.
But come on.
But like, I don't know. Does he have enough magic?
The net result of magic is still good.
Yeah.
Looks like we cleared the
Every time
way.
every time I get one of those statements, I'm like, okay, well, imagine his personal strength growth was 0 and he was otherwise unchanged. Like, now whine about him. Like if he just has some extra strength growth, like totally his bonus, that's like
Time to
fine, you
die?
know. No.
No. Gonna save you guys to 15 minutes.
Mhm.
No.
No. All right. And this, I believe, is when we get access to the Somniel.
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, that's what Lodestar Rush does.
Ooh. Wait, it's only 7? I thought it was 9.
Today I learned. Running is this button. There we go. Yay.
Yeah, I always forget to. Gotta pick up the medal. Oh.
Oh, Okay. All right. It's like one of them is metal, the other one is just bond fragments. Okay. All right. Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't know if you pick up the grounds bond fragments. I know you pick up the conversation bond fragments when you leave.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I got any there from combos.
Must have not been. I don't actually know what makes people give you bond fragments at the end, huh?
Oh, it can't
I'm
be
not
that I
dead.
didn't love them enough because I love my units.
That's right. We said such nice things about
Most of them.
all 6 of our units. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Looks like next episode there will be some Somme yelling at the very least. So yeah, that to look forward to. We can take a closer look at the options we have so far. I think they get unlocked very gradually, like 1 or 2 features per chapter. So I don't know if we can make an entire episode about what we get now. Do you remember what we get now from the Somme? A lot of things? Little things.
Apparently the well, but we can't pull anything out of it yet. We can just put stuff into it, I think.
Okay.
I mean, the icons on the map, I have no idea.
Okay. We'll see it next time, I guess.
Yeah, the features are pretty bare right now. We get, like, support conversations. That's basically it.
Okay, fair enough. I'll if it's very little, I'll do it on my own. If it's enough to be worth discussing, I will do it on screen. We'll see. Either case, we'll see you all next time. Hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, see you next time.